Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Lazelle. I'm the Business Website Director at Healy Consultants Group in Singapore. I have with me this morning two ladies. There's Caroline Devet. She is the Accounting and Tax Officer who is based in our Malaysia office in Johor Bahru. And I have Chloe Tan, who is a website content writer who is based in our Singapore office with me. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. I'm good, thanks, Caroline. Caroline, last month you and I talked in a podcast about your expertise on Australia, and that was really, really interesting. And I'm sure our listeners found great value in that recording. I believe today we are gathered, and Chloe and I are going to ask you some questions about a recent Hong Kong engagement you completed. And obviously, as an accounting and tax officer, you deal with the accounting and tax obligations for our clients, not so much on the incorporation and bank account opening side. So, Caroline, let's kick off the podcast by you telling us a little bit about the client, what sort of business they were in, and what were you required to do for the client?
Yep, sure. So my client, they are based in Australia. So they have a company in Hong Kong. So they are providing a specialized services in logistics support and food provision all across the Asia Pacific region.
Very good. And they approached us for services. Can you just give us a bit of detail about what those services they required from us?
Yep. So they require services such as accounting and tax obligations, such as preparing the audited financial statement, completing the annual obligations such as business registration certificate renewal, annual return filings, and also profit tax return filing.
Okay, Chloe, do you want to just run through some of the finer details of those with Caroline?
Of course. So I was just wondering, like, with this Hong Kong engagement, were there like any specific challenges that came across? And yeah, could you tell me more about that?
For specific challenges, I don't really think so. We have any challenges during completing this engagement because for Hong Kong, it's a pretty straightforward engagement where we'll be required to complete the audit. So once client provide us all the required information from our auditors, then we can just wrap up this engagement.
How long does the audit normally take, Caroline, in Hong Kong?
It will take approximately 1 to 2 months. It depends case by case basis.
Yeah, and obviously that depends on the client providing us with all the information in a timely manner. What sort of information, you may have just touched on it before, what sort of information is required to complete an audit in Hong Kong?
Yeah, sure. So initially we will request trial balance for the financial period from the client. So once they provide us the trial balance, we will forward it to our auditor. So auditor will go through each and every details in the report, and then they will request some sample of invoices, other supporting documents. And then we will request the same to the client. So once client able to provide all the supporting documents we request, then we can complete the draft. And then we will send the draft to the client. Once client was comfortable and they are comfortable signing off the report, then we will send them the final report for them to sign off. And then we can complete this audit engagement.
Okay, sounds pretty straightforward. And as you say, Hong Kong is one of the easier jurisdictions when it comes to these sort of obligations. Okay, Chloe, do you have any other questions for Caroline?
So from this engagement that you just mentioned, like, it seems everything was pretty straightforward, but what were some of the highlights, you would say, if there were any of them?
For highlights, I can for the completion of necessary filings such as renewal of business registration, annual return, and profit tax return filing. So it have to be completed within the time frame provided by the government to avoid any penalties. So when we are in the midst of completing the audit, we will at the same time we will engage with the authorities to complete all the other obligation, which is like, as I mentioned, BR renewal, which is business registration renewal, annual return filing, and also the profit tax return filings.
I see. What's usually the time frame from the government? Is it pretty tight?
For the profit tax return, so they will provide us 1 month from the date they issue the profit tax return form. So from within the 1 month, we will try to fill up the form and then send it to IRD Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong we cannot do anything through portal, so everything was have to be done in manually. So we have to fill up the form manually and then send it to the authorities.
So would you say it's pretty sufficient time to do everything that you just mentioned?
If we're able to complete the audit within a short period, then we can complete the tax return form. If we need additional time to, for example, if we haven't completed the audit yet and we need additional time to fill up the profit tax return form, then we can request for an extension of time with the authorities. If they grant us an extension of time, we will try to speed up the audit process, and then we will try to complete all the filings within the extended deadline.
Wow, that sounds great. There's a little space then to breathe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very, very good. Caroline, it sounds like another engagement very efficiently and swiftly handled on your part. You are an expert on these things, and obviously Australia is your core area of expertise, and that's a complicated jurisdiction compared to Hong Kong. I'm sure there are learnings in every engagement, but we thank you for all your efforts, and I'm sure the client is very happy. And we look forward to speaking with you next time on maybe a more complicated jurisdiction, which has really stretched your capabilities. So thank you for your time, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Chloe.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.